Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's Hooptalk, the podcast, episode whatever. If you've been keeping up, you should already know, man. It's the same gang as usual. Say hi to the people, fellas.
You're
Episode 11.
Episode 11 it is. There we go. We got some GM5, man. No ABA action since the last time we've potted, but we got some GM5 stuff going on. It might be another short pod because I think last week we had ABA stuff, right? And it was only an hour.
And it was pretty short.
Yeah, we might
yeah.
be here for like
Oh,
45 minutes.
but we did want to see if we could come up with our own player of the week we talked about. So maybe that can be a quick discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I didn't think about it. I should have, but I mean, listen, impromptu podcasting, I love it. But yeah, I'd be down for that for sure. I mean, I think as the season goes along in the GM5, it kind of gets repetitive to say the same things over and over again. You know what I mean? So I think that's why the pods are getting kind of shorter. So luckily, the FBA will be starting soon, but we can go on with some GM5 action. Week 11 just passed. We had 4 games of action. OTB had a bye, so they were not in attendance. Actually, they were in attendance, a couple players, or at least Bubba. I'm pretty sure I saw somebody else from OTB there, I think. But I know I saw Bubba for sure. First game was Prey versus Dream Chasers. The score doesn't really tell the full story. I feel like the game was pretty in favor of Prey for the majority. I think things just got kind of close. Or not close, but Dream kind of made a run towards the end, just couldn't really make enough of a run. So Prey took that 80 to 71. Uh, it was just me and Tyler, but I'm going to just assume the best and say that Pluto had a chance to watch the games. I made sure I uploaded them in advance. And when I say in advance, I put them on YouTube the same night, ladies and gentlemen. Kudos to Nas
Yeah, he did.
for putting in that work.
First for everything.
Yeah, that is the first time I've ever done that. I think the first week I did that. I think, and then after that, everything just went downhill. But we're back in action. What do you think, Tyler? Prey versus Dream Chasers. What did you see? Anything stand out to you?
I mean, you were right in what you said. Trey were in the lead of that the entire game. I think right at the end of the fourth quarter, they might have stepped their foot off the gas a little bit more. Maybe Dream Chasers kind of found something to bring them back, but it was never close enough. Um, Chris Williams, who I talk about often, being a great shooter, being a great player, had a fantastic night. I don't know if the stats are up. I have not checked actually, but if I had to bet, he was probably the leading scorer.
You said Christian
Yep.
Williams.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Chris
was the leading
Williams,
scorer.
22 points, 4 rebounds. I absolutely agree with that. I think Djax, wow, Djax did not do as well as I thought. Watching that game, I felt like Djax was very instrumental, offensive, especially offensively. But he didn't shoot as well as I thought, so maybe I'll take that back. But he was passing. I know that he was definitely creating for others, and so was Jalen. I just, man, I
Jelani?
think that Prey just. I said J. Yep, my bad. Sorry, Jelani. Man, man. I'm trying to take away the I because there's no I in team, and he's such a great facilitator.
Oh
Good.
That's what I'm trying
God.
to
That was
get at.
nice. That
Oh
was nice. I
God.
gotta clap it up for
We
that.
always talk about how great he is at
That's the end of the
facilitation.
podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. No, go ahead.
No, but
That was
I mean,
nice.
between the two of them, bro, it was tough. They were looking to create for others that night, and they absolutely were. Shooting, it went as well as it could have for Prey that night. And then on the other side, Dream Chasers is just always gonna have the same issue, where you either have guys that just want to play hero ball or guys that don't want to play defense at all, because the communication is like not existent
Yeah.
when they're on the floor. You don't hear them communicating at all. You don't hear them speaking. Man, I mean, they got beat up because of it. Shout out Turon. There was a spurt there where Turon looked like he was like completely unstoppable.
Yeah.
But then he kind of came back down to earth efficiency wise. But that little scoop layup was unstoppable. They could
Is
not be
this
guarded.
is this thumb still look like it's having some issues?
I didn't see any. I didn't see anything on it, but I didn't ask him. But he didn't have any bandage. It wasn't wrapped up or anything.
That's good. That's good. Um, I mean, I did get to. I will say this because I'm at work when I'm watching these videos. I did get to watch a lot of the second halves of the videos. I did do that just because that's the most important time of the game. I feel like. I do want to shout out one person here. Um, it's gonna be K. Well. I mean, dude is the only person on Dream Chasers who shows up every week. If this team has a maybe even a 60, not 500, maybe like even if they're 6-4, I would be petitioning Kelly Well to be an MVP in this league.
I was
Um,
saying that to Nas. I would
you
too.
were, you were Tyler, and it saddens me because he posts, and this is literally just I'm reading in between the lines. He posts something, and he just says, "Oh, just runs." Like he's a very prideful person. Just by talking to him, he really takes basketball serious. So if he's just posting just runs, he's not taking it serious. And it's not that he doesn't want to. I think he's lost, and I don't want to put. Let me roll that back. I feel like what I'm seeing is someone who is now taking this as like I'm just gonna go get my runs in and I'm gonna go home. And when someone who's that good checks out, it's hard to win games. And it's not like he's not trying. He's just checked out of the team mentality thing. And again, I don't want to put words in his mouth. I'm just what I see and the things I've looked at. This is not something he's told me. This is not something we've had a conversation, but I will welcome that conversation when I see him this Saturday because I'll finally be back this Saturday. But yeah, man, it just sucks for someone to waste a season like this. Like he's such a good player, and that's really my takeaway. Prey should have won this game. They should have never been close. Shout out to Chris Williams for the great game he have. Also, I think Jordan Hernandez. I don't know his ticks because it didn't say how much he's played. He definitely needs more shots than 8 shots a game as well. He's their second best player on the team.
Kind of hard when two guys took 50 shots.
Yeah, I see that. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I was
There's not many other shots that can go up.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was
think when
waiting
we
to
told
mention right there, man. 50
yeah,
shots between two players in a running
it's
clock
insane.
game that lasts 50 to 55 minutes. That's madness, bro. They took a shot every minute that passed in this game. Think about that.
They had to.
Just think about
They
that.
had to.
That's insane, bro. Every minute that we were recording, a shot was taken by Bentley or Kel. And it's like I don't know, man. It's a double edged sword because you kind of have to. At the end of the day, players just aren't putting forth the best effort to really make it easier on them. But then at the same time, it's like when you do, it just looks bad. You know what I mean? Like that's just 27 shots by Kel, 23 shots by Bentley. That's crazy work, man. That's Kobe and Shaq
A
numbers. You
lot
know
of
what I mean?
shots.
That's Kobe and Shaq numbers. It's insane, bro. 50 shots. I never even thought about doing the math. I was just thinking about it individually. And now that Tyler said 50, I was like, damn, that sounds even worse than saying 27 and 23. 50 shots between two players. Could you imagine? That's insane.
You add Toronto to that's 63.
That's
Just three
crazy
people.
work, bro. The next highest number is 8. Like, what the
That's
hell is
insane,
that, bro?
Dame takes 2 shots a game, damn near. I think really, I mean, what and us talking about stats and me just looking at them right here. Milt is a great 3-point shooter. He took 6 shots. He took 2 3. Oh no, he took 5 threes. I think when you have a floor spacer like that, we see the loops. I'm
Milt only
not
took
saying he's
2.
on that. Yeah, he took 2. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, he took 2. When you have someone who's your floor spreader with a bunch of people who get to the rim, Bouncy, Kel, they're not spreading the floor. And all those shots, I didn't get to watch the first half, but I'm pretty sure those shits were forced. Like, there's no way you take 27 shots casually in a game without like thinking like I'm about to just throw this bitch up. Like, there's no fucking way. That's insane.
I'm not
That's
sure I
insane.
can get on board with the idea of Milt being a good 3-point shooter, but he definitely throws them up. That's for sure. He does that much, but I don't know if I
I
could
think
do-
he's above average. I never said he was Luke or anybody like that, but I think he is an above average 3-point shooter.
I think you got to hit at least 33% of your shots to even be close to being considered average. So, and now we're saying above average. That's I don't know, man. I think we need to do. I think we need to do a little research there because I don't know. Milt is shooting 30% from 3, so I'm not entirely sure I can get on board with that take there. But it's tough, man. I
He
think
is.
Dream
He is.
Chasers are in the same boat as Lions, where I feel like they weren't prepared for what GM5 could be. And I think teams need to be put on notice, honestly. And I hope any future teams that are interested in joining the GM5 really look into this podcast and watch this episode specifically. Because I'm going to tell you right here, right now, you need to come ready. Like, it's only going to get better. You know what I mean? It's only going to get better. OTB is only going to try harder. If OTB doesn't win a championship next year, they might get an NBA nigga on that team. Let me tell you right now. If OTB doesn't win a championship this year, they're going to go recruit freaking Bronny James when he gets waived by the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like they're going to go after Antonio Blakeney and Dwayne Bacon because they be down the street in RDV hooping with what's his name? Rainey, that trainer. So like it's only going to get worse. I mean, it got crazy this year. If it wasn't for the fact that he was busy, we would have had Blake Hinson in this league. You know what I mean? So, like, it's only going to get crazier. So, like, listen, me and the guys been talking about having a team in the GM5. So, we got to be on our P's and Q's with that. Like, we can't just bring some scrubs. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to win. We're not trying to do this just to play.
Yeah.
Spend $1,800 just to play and have fun. And that's what I feel like some teams are doing right now. And I hate to sound like that, but it's pointing fingers at Dream Chasers and Lions. It just feels like they spend $1,800 just to have fun. You know what I mean? It's like that's a crazy amount of money to spend to have fun. You could go have fun for free at LA Fitness. You know what I mean? You can get in with the guest pass.
Like, the issue with that team, though, is there's two things. Two things you have to remember. One, just look at the roster alone. A lot of them played in GM5 last season. Bentley, Dane, Milt, Timothy, Turon, even Kevin, they were all on teams last season. So they know what GM5 is about. And they were also supposed to have Fillmore. So, like, this team would look a little bit different if they did have Josh Fillmore, I think.
Yeah, Fillmore would have. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like, this team would look a lot different. Unfortunately, just things didn't work out. And I think is TP still their GM?
No.
I know he was at the beginning.
Yeah, he's like I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure TP will watch this and text us a big paragraph explanation of how it works. But he's in charge of something when it comes to Dream Chasers. I don't know exactly what it is, honestly.
Not the winning part.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Legends either.
Yeah, I was about to say Nico is Nicoing right now. But I will say this. I mean, if these teams had those players, they should have leveraged a little bit better. It's all about leveraging. Like, you have Fillmore. You know who Fillmore is. There's a reason OTB is not going to go get a player who's going to play a role. They're going to get impact players. So I would have asked for more from OTB for Fillmore. And that's just leveraging. Like, leveraging. That's all you have to do. You could be a way better team with not a better roster if you're able to leverage Fillmore. Hey, we want Luke or something. If you want Fillmore, you got to give us something that makes sense. Because now we're seeing the value. Yeah, go ahead.
But it's GM5 at the end of the day. It's not like Fillmore is getting paid to be there. You know what I mean? Like, all he has to do is just stop showing up. You know? Like, if he says, I don't want to be here.
That's what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, if he says, I don't want to be here, this isn't the team I wanted to be drafted by, what are they going to do? Might as well get something out of it. So, like, at the end of the day, they didn't really have a choice. And, I mean, they have free agency. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you don't know anybody. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, throw shade at any players that they do have. But, like, I know Bentley be hooping everywhere, bro. Everywhere. I see him everywhere. I mean, Kel, not as much. Kel, he's kind of stuck in Daytona. But, at the end of the day, Kel does have, players that he could potentially hook up with. That's a possibility. Whether it be from the Serpents, whether it be from the Royals. You know what I mean? Like, there's options available. It's like, I don't know what the behind the scenes was. And that's something that I would love to hear from whoever's in charge in Dream Chasers. But, like, it just doesn't feel like a lot of effort was put into making the improvements that were necessary. And the next team that we're going to talk about also, I feel the same way. So it just sucks, man. But I think I'd love to see the Dream Chasers come back and learn from their mistakes and be a completely different team. You know what I mean? Like, they could be the next Enforcers for all we know. You know what I mean? A team that really surprises and puts together a squad that knows how to just win games. So we'll see.
I mean, Dane was on that team. Dane was on Enforcers.
Coincidentally. I mean, it's just a couple changes, and we've talked about it on the broadcast a million times. Get yourself a big man. That's one of the changes that we've talked about for a while. Get yourself a big man and get yourself a running mate. And if it's not a running mate, Bentley has to step up and be able to drop 20 any night. That's all it comes down to. But I mean, if you guys had nothing else to say about that game, we can move on to the next, which is the other team I was going to criticize, unfortunately. Count Up versus Lions Perception. Now, there's plenty of positives to say about Count Up as they won 95-48 And we're gonna save the best. At least I suggest we save the best for last because I think we all know what performance we need to talk about in that game. But we can
Yeah,
start with the
Luke Doyle
Lions.
has not been missing any games. He's been channeling himself into other players,
No,
and we
facts.
saw it.
Yeah, we saw it. Front row seats. But the Lions unfortunately lost by however much this is. Honestly, what is this? 40. I want to say
47.
47. Yeah,
48.
40. I think 47 is correct. 48? No, it has to be 47. If it was 48, then they would have 96. So it has to be 47.
Did they have 47?
No, 40.
Oh, look at this. Look at the score at the top, and then look at the totals at the bottom. They're two different numbers.
Oh, that's interesting. That is very odd. All right, well, there you go.
Yeah, 48, 47. I see it.
We don't know what the total score is. It's on my end. The first page says 95 to 48, and the score says 95 to 47. We do know GM5 has been having issues with their website. I've seen they've been reaching out to tech support and all that good stuff. But either way, 47, 48 don't really matter. At the end of the day, Lions Perception only had 5 players. One bright spot that I'd like to point out, man, J-Ball, I believe, was the leading scorer of the team, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Shout out J-Ball.
Shout out J-Ball for real. J-Ball had 12 points. I think the next leading scorer was 11, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't clicked on it just yet.
He's smooth.
Yeah, it was not a good game for Lions, unfortunately. I only have one thing to say about Lions, and if you guys want to add to it, you can. But it does suck to see. I guess every league has to have this, but it does suck to see teams struggle that much. I don't know, but I guess every league just has to have that. You know what I mean? I guess, you look at the NBA, there's always going to be teams that just can't figure it out. You know what I mean? And you look at other leagues, probably, even in the EuroLeague, there's teams that just can't figure it out. So it does suck, man. I wish the Lions, with all the connections they had, would have really put some pressure on improving their roster early. But it's another case of, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. And I would love to ask. I would love to have a conversation and see. And maybe when the season is all over, we can really have an episode of just talking about all the behind-the-scenes stuff that we've been learning. Because, it's golly, man, 47 or 48 deficit, whatever the score really was. It's just, it's 40-point losses after 40-point losses for them, man. It's tough to watch.
Yeah.
It's not even the only 40-point loss of the night, though, unfortunately. It's actually the second lowest score, or second lowest deficit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot to say here. I'll say I agree with you guys. There's not really much to say. All I'll say is if you go on YouTube and you watch our videos, please watch it all. But around the 37-minute and 25-second mark, a person on the floor catches on fire. And
Let's go back to that. Hold up. We'll come back to that.
Okay. That shit was
I did want to
crazy.
say one thing, actually.
That's player of the week.
For sure.
Damn, it slipped my mind as
One
soon as
word.
I started talking. My goodness. What was I gonna say? Dang it. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Tyler? I don't think about it.
I think also the Lions, they kind of expected more people to show up. When I was talking with Ariana, she thought that Trent was going to be there, for example. And I think, a player like Trent, I think, would have helped. It would have put a lot more pressure on the defense. It would have, caused them to make some different decisions. Because a lot of the time, Canada was running a too-big lineup. And they were able to do that because, the Lions, they don't really have that speed to kind of deal with it. Aaron Mims is a slower center. J-Ball, no matter how great he is, he's not that quick. And then you also have Jonathan Henry. Like, those are kind of like slower players. So you're not really driving inside. You're not cutting. Like, they can live getting back in transition with those two bigs because they're also going to secure the rebounds. Like, it was 56-34 in the rebound battle.
That's crazy.
So they had that. Lenoris, who we're going to talk about for something else. I thought that he led the game in rebounds. He was the third best rebounder of the night, to give you an idea. And he's one of my short kings. He's one of my short kings, bro. So, like, I don't know. They needed a lot of their guys. Stefan wasn't there. Kevin wasn't there. Steve wasn't there. Trent wasn't there. And I think those four would have definitely, helped. But even then, I think Canop was just too good for them, to be realistic. I think that no matter what happened, they were going to kind of take that. Canop just, they came off a great week against NWO where they almost beat them. they're still performing in that same manner. They're performing very well. They're very strong. I think that they were going to take this no matter what.
And no Jalen Monroe, I see. It's big.
I
It's a big
remember
win.
now. I know we're not talking about power rankings today, but like, if you really were to dig deep and think about it, isn't it kind of? Don't you feel like at this point in the season, ignoring what happened a few weeks ago, don't you guys feel like low key in a power ranking, maybe just maybe Dream Chasers can make a case that they're higher than Lions? Like, don't you feel like there is a case there from a
No,
power
I
ranking
don't.
perspective?
I'm not going to give that to
Ah,
Dream Chasers either because they
Lions got
look
it
like some
done.
fucking boot. They look like some booty sometimes, like some hot ass.
But they keep
I'm not
games
gonna
much
lie.
more competitive more
Right.
often, though. That's my thought process there. It's like they look like they can win a game, whereas the Lions just never seem like they could ever have won that game.
But
It's
they
fair.
won
They
a
have a
game.
Kel. They do have a Kel, and the Lions have a Trip, but he doesn't play. So that's fair. Because we talked about the Lions needed a go-to scorer, which the Dream Chasers do have, and yeah,
That's my thought
maybe
process. When you're
we
thinking
can say
about
that.
power
The point
rankings,
differential is terrible.
yeah, it is. Like when you think about power rankings, obviously the record is gonna be the first thing you look at in most cases, but like context is the most important thing when it comes to power rankings. And like it is sometimes it's a little hard to say Lions because they have a win over Dream Chasers that they automatically deserve to be ranked higher. When it's like when you look at Dream Chasers games out of the unfortunate 10 losses that they have, you could argue what 6 or 7 of them were games where they were actually competing to get
Yeah.
close to potentially win games. They had at least 2, maybe 3 close games that they could have won, and even against Prey, even against Prey, if there was just a little more time left, who knows if Dream Chasers could have pulled it together towards the end. I mean, Prey got screwed out of a timeout, and they talked about it in the chat. You know what I mean? So who knows if there was 2 more minutes left in that game, what could have happened when they had no timeouts left? So that's something that crossed my mind. It's like even though Dream Chasers haven't won, are they 100% worse than Lions? Like, are we just set on that, or is there an argument to be had there?
There's an argument because the point differential. You look at it, it's negative 31 for Lions. So like, on average, they're losing by the 3-minute mark, which is like a lot. Whereas Dream Chasers, I mean, it's negative 13 rounded up or rounded down. Sorry, they have they play a better brand of defense. They allow less points on average, so I could see it. But they did lose at the end of the day, and that's really all that matters in power rankings.
Yeah. I would, if this was horseshoes, hell yeah, Dream Chasers. But at the end of the day, that record, Dream Chasers. I
End of
mean,
the
Lions
game.
got it
What are you
done.
thinking?
Yeah.
Bro, you be
I heard
thinking
that
about that
too.
conversation earlier.
I heard that too. I was
Nah,
gonna let it go.
but
I
oh
was
man,
not.
but at the end of the day, I mean, the Lions won, Dream Chasers hasn't. And if you close your eyes and you don't know anything about the GM5 and you look at records, and I know you guys are looking at point differentials and things like that as well, but just like solely off records, it's like that's what the power rankings are based off. So I can't feel bad because you almost won a couple games. I mean, they won a game. They're in the playoffs right now as we
They won a
speak,
game against you 3 weeks ago.
and that's big.
It's recent enough. And I would say more recently, the point differential since that game to now has been pretty similar. Remember,
Yeah.
Dream Chasers just got blown out by OTB as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, enough of that though. Let's
2017.
talk about some positives, man. My vote for Player of the Week this week, and I'm gonna try and persuade some others to vote for him as well. Lenoris Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen, had himself one hell of a third quarter, and I'd love to say one hell of a game, but in reality, it all happened in the third quarter. That shit went crazy, man. What was it? 6 threes in the third quarter, 18 points. He finished with
13 points alone.
Yeah, he finished with 23 in the game, so that tells you a story, man. But like Norris was in his Steph Curry bag, man. He started chucking up them threes, and we didn't know what to do with ourselves. And let me tell you right now, Lions sure as hell didn't know what to do with themselves. Um,
I heard
I
Ariana on the sideline. I was like, "What the hell, man?"
yeah, it
I
was
can hear her
crazy.
voice right now. right
Yeah,
now, just in my ear.
it was insane, man. Lenore is 6 for 6 from three. I don't believe he missed a 3 point shot in the third quarter. He hit another one in the fourth, and by that point the game was so far off, so far gone. He didn't really need to take many shots. But before you guys go, one thing that I want to say that I liked the most about Lenoris is unlike so many players in this league that I would 100%. And listen, TP, if you want to find me, go ahead and find me. I'm making an assumption that every other player in this league would have chucked up so many bad shots if they went for 6 for 6. They would have chucked up so many bad shots. But Lenoris, one thing I want to give him credit for is he did not take any shot that did not need to be taken. He was 100% willing to pass up a shot no matter how high he felt, even if it was his first, second, or all the way to 6-3. He was not going to take up or take a random shot just for the hell of it. He stayed disciplined, and I do love to see that. Obviously, I would have loved to see it if he chucked up a crazy one. What would have happened? But like, I respect him for just taking the shots that were there and staying within the offense, because at the end of the day, when you're trying to go to the playoffs and you're trying to compete towards the end of the season, it's not about finding out how many crazy shots you can make. It's about finding out how much offense can you create, how much offense can you take advantage of, how much of this can we take into the postseason, and like, I think obviously, like I said, it's an assumption, but I would like to assume this is what he was thinking. It's like, what's the point of me taking these shots? This isn't the shots that are going to come to me in the postseason, and I respect him a lot for it. That was my biggest take, aside from the fact that he was red hot and it was a phenomenal performance. I loved the discipline that he showed, even though he deserved at least 3 heat checks. I want to say he would have deserved at least 3 heat checks, but he didn't do that.
And his team was feeding him too. His team was trying to get him those shots, and he was still passing them up. So that's a good basketball player. That's like a good basketball IQ. And
Yeah.
he was. I think there's never a time where Lenoris is on the court and he's not the shortest player. But he was a third in rebounding that game. Took down 10 boards along with his 23 points. Like, that's all effort. That's all just putting in the work to play a good brand of basketball. I think that's why they won. A lot of the guys on the sideline, like Dakota, I don't even think Dakota took a shot that night, did he? I
I'm
think
looking at it
Dakota
right
was just
now.
about playing
Nope,
defense,
no shots.
facilitating, and rebounding.
No
Yeah.
shots.
So like they really locked in that game, and I think they played really well when they did that. We talked about this a few times this season, where like early in the shot clock, or especially like later in the game, they start taking these really bad shots and they almost shoot them out of games. And you guys have mentioned Kevin Beans as being one of the people that does that. I don't think Beans did that this game. I think Beans played a very great game within the system that they were running within the game, kind of controlling what he could control, which is more on the defensive end or in transition. And I think he played really well there. But yeah, Lenoris, I don't. If you told me Lenoris was the best shooter in the GM5 after last night, like if that was my first game, I'd believe you. I'm surprised Lenoris only took 12 threes. In my head, I felt like he took like 18 and he made 17 or something. I don't know what he missed. I don't remember that happening. I don't know.
No, I
I
agree.
too, as the Lion, have been on the receiving end of Lenore's threes because we played in the same age group. We graduated the same year, so I've too witnessed this man like he lit us up at university. So
Fuck
when
university, first of all.
hold on, watch your mouth. Anyways, what I was trying to get at is he's a D-Lam basketball player. If you've ever been coached under Coach Zioli, if you know who that name is, that's a big guy in D-Land. He coached his brother, he coached his other brother, he coached all three of them, and that's how they play ball. There is no bad shot taking. There is no heat checks. That's why, like Nas says, it's just a great pass to an open player. And when I watched the second half of the game after 37 minute 25-second mark, I've watched a player pump fake pass. The ball works its way all the way back to the corner to him. Also, it's catching him in transition, having a point like having a guy like Malik, who's also a willing scorer, but also but yeah, he can pass the ball. But I wouldn't say a willing passer. I love you, Malik, but he passed the ball. But the team itself, the point I'm trying to get at, the team knew who the hot hand was, and they accepted it. You have people like Beans, you have people like Leak, you have people like Dakota who are capable 3-point shooters, but they're looking for him, and it's not forced. It's in motion, in play. Um, Another takeaway, right? What Tyler said: 0 shots for the game is crazy. Not an open layup, nothing, but 6 boards and 6 assists. He had himself a Draymond game, and that's what they needed at the time. They lost Jalen, their mucky guy, their guy who grabs rebound and plays good defense, who wasn't there. Dennis Diaz wasn't there, so they needed to pick spots better. I watched actually when I came back in the conversation, cross court pass to Norris Dakota, um, and it's just IQ. The one thing about Count Up is they just all we asked for them is take better shots, and they delivered, and it showed. They were in a good game with the Vipers. They were in great games with these teams that we think are better than them, but they're keeping up with them and doing their thing. I don't think this is the same team we saw last year that was defensively a mindset. This team can score the ball. We have scorers now. We have people, but we still have that. We got to get back and play defense. So they've added another layer to their team, and I love it. I think they did a good job this year with the pieces they brought to the team. And they needed shooting, and they did exactly that. They got shooting. So shout out to Kano. Great win, and you guys look good. Keep doing it.
Amazing job. That two big lineup, like you would think any other team could kind of exploit that because Johnny and
Yeah,
Brendan are a little slower, but even offensively they were doing a lot.
yeah,
Johnny was on fire from three. How many threes did he hit? Only
Johnny.
two. You know what?
One of
I refuse to believe that. I refuse to accept that it was only two.
he
I'm
shot
gonna
four.
give Johnny 4 threes that he made. I'm just gonna say that
Yeah, I know the camera shows
because
too, but
it felt like that. It felt like it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Impactful buckets. They're gonna feel like that when it's impactful. They're gonna feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing a really. They were shooting the lights out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they've gotten the totals fixed yet, but overall, a lot of the players on this team were definitely knocking down a lot of good shots. Brogy was doing his thing. Dre, shout out to Dre. He hit some threes as well. It was a great shooting performance, and Connaught definitely needs this to go into the postseason. I mean, I'm actually curious. I'm gonna look it up right now because they're what 6-4 right now, if I'm not mistaken, and they have the ability to
Correct.
finish this season with a what do you want to call it, a winning record. So looking at their last 2 games is City Ballers and OTB, and I mean I'm not gonna say who, just so nobody comes around and slaps me in the face. But one of those games is a winnable game.
Yeah,
So
Melo.
one of those games is definitely a winnable game. So they have the ability to finish this season 7-5. Obviously, they could also finish 6-6, and I mean they could finish 8-4. You never know, but Count Up has a real opportunity to finish this season in a winning record, and I don't think you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they did last year. I don't believe Count Up had a winning
No,
record last year.
no.
I think so.
Mm-mm.
I'll check right now, but I'm almost certain that
Yeah, we're not close.
they were 5-8.
5 and
Yeah, they
9.
weren't close. They weren't close. Yeah.
5 and 9. Yeah, they were not close. So they have. This is really good for them. This is a really good turnaround, and I'm excited to see what kind of can do because they're a team that can steal a very interesting win in that first round of the playoffs. But moving on to our third game of the day was City Ballers versus Vipers. Um, a lot. Oh, where'd it go? A lot was happening. I don't have it up. There you go. 109-61, as you can imagine. A lot was happening there. Definitely for the Vipers, to be more particular. Not much was happening there for City Ballers, unfortunately. It was an interesting game. I'll let Tyler start because I have a take that I believe is going to get me a very long DM on Instagram. So I'm going to save my take for the end.
The Vipers were like, there was not a single player on the Vipers that I went on the stats that hit less than 2 threes. I think that night, every single one of them. Ant comes out and he starts the game off immediately with 2 threes. Follow that up with Zoldo with some shots. Liam was hitting threes. They have Toro now. Like everybody was just on fire from the perimeter, and it was really hard for them to keep up with. I think City Ballers kind of lost it on the perimeter specifically, because even in transition they were not able to keep up with them. Vipers are a super quick team that we talk about often. They're able to secure those rebounds very well, and they're looking to pass in transition. And they took advantage of the City Ballers, bro. They it was BTA. It was 100% belt to ass. And
Yeah.
City Ballers struggled with something that I've never seen them struggle with before, which was like a zone. They didn't have their full personnel, so Phil, Trap, Spark, and I don't know who else wasn't there. I think that was it from the main guys. I know Sedino wasn't there either, but like they did nothing to break that zone. They just kept floundering. They started getting upset about it on the court, but they made no improvements. Nobody was really looking to shoot. Nobody was looking to feed in the middle. It just kind of turned into like this like ISO ball, where like you're pounding the air out of the ball at some point, and then you're getting a shot up, but then on the other end they're hitting a shot from the perimeter, they're hitting another three, or they're securing a rebound from you. And that was just kind of the story of the night. And man, Liam, Zoldo, Zay, everybody was on fire. Geo, I can name the entire
I like
team.
the whole team.
I'm gonna name the entire team. Willie, Toro, we can keep going, bro. All of them on fire. I'm trying to get a jersey. That's really what it is.
Yeah, I do want to say something that I've noticed with the Vipers. Vipers play with one big man. The rest of their players are usually guards. The only other big
You
forward
just
they
saying
have.
fuck Ann for no reason.
No. I was gonna get. Ant comes off the bench or he starts. I'm not sure. I didn't get to
Okay.
watch it this game. A lot of times he does come off the bench though to replace Liam. But they're doing this with really two big men in this league. And they have the other tall guy, but he plays like a guard. He's a wing at 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 tops. He's a
Tyrell?
wing. Yep, he's a wing. He's not a real big man. I mean, he could do big man things, but he's a wing naturally by nature. He takes the ball, he brings it up, he distributes. But I think the most impressive thing is that they don't really lose rebounding battles like that. They don't lose like the way smaller teams should. I think that's effort. And you having someone like Anthony Rice to be your backup center is when he can be in this league a starting center like he was last year is helpful because you're also switching it up to where you have someone like Liam who's finesse, and now you have someone like Anthony Rice who is more physical, who's more defensively minded. It switches the gears of the game. And when I was watching this game, it wasn't a game. It wasn't close. It wasn't anything that I mean. I'm going into like the third quarter. I'm just like, I'm not watching the rest of this. Like, it's not no offense. I mean, I gotta do my homework and stuff. I am gonna watch the rest of it later on the day tomorrow at work. But it's not basketball, and that's been the problem with City Ballers. They get a win, they lose 2 games. They get a win, they lose 2 games. It's the inconsistency, and we've said that there's no consistency in their game. There's no pattern that we can go off other than they're losing 2 games and winning 1 game, and the wins aren't on big teams. They're on teams they should be beating. And I love you, Phil, to death. You're my guy, and I hope I don't get caught up in the parking lot with you at all. You're one of the few people that do intimidate in that league, genuinely. Um, you got to do something, bro. I don't know what it is anymore. You have all the talent in the world. You're damn near Thanos with the jewelry on.
Wait, he
I
wasn't
don't
there though.
know.
To be fair,
He wasn't there, and that he is their emotional support. You know what I'm saying? He's the one who deals with the rest himself. He takes all the emotional stuff himself, and
Well,
everybody
wait
can
a
kind of do
second.
their thing.
I'm not gonna say Phil's emotional support though. That's
He argues with the refs, so nobody else has to on that team. That's all I'm gonna say. He's their Draymond.
I
I
don't
would
think
say.
that's the
Like,
purpose of his
he's their
arguing.
aggressor.
I don't
Huh?
think I don't think that's the intention of his arguing. I don't think that's what he's
At all.
thinking. I also can't I also can't get on board with the fact that the Vipers are not a big team when in reality a bulk of their
huge.
a bulk of their roster is at minimum 6'2". A very large bulk of their roster. Like we're talking about
I'm
Ant.
6'2".
Yeah,
I'm
right?
taller than their whole roster.
No,
you're
you
not.
are
You're
not,
not
bro.
taller than Zay.
I'm
You're
taller-
not
I'm
Zay
taller-
is taller
okay.
than
You're
you.
not taller
Liam
than
is taller than
Tyrell.
No,
you.
I'm taller
Ant
than
is
Zay.
taller than
I'm
you.
taller than Zay.
Zay is at best
I'm taller
you're
than
the
Zay.
same size as you, bro. Zay is not a short guard. Like this is
And I'm
this,
6 foot.
this is a men's league. That's what I'm saying. Like if we're trying to use professional basketball standards, obviously they're tiny because their biggest player is 6'7". This is a men's league though. And at the men's league, bro, like we're talking about a guy who's 6'2", 6'3", would normally be a small forward, and he's their shooting guard.
He's not. He's not 6'2" or 6'3".
Yeah,
I'm
he's their
6'3".
point guard. Zay
No,
is
I
their
hear
point
you.
guard.
I get what you guys are saying. I'm not taking away from the size thing. They are, when it comes to their best players, their best players are their smallest players. I guess I
But Zay's
should.
not small though. That's what I'm saying. Zay's not small.
He's
Zuldo
like
is
their
the only small
medium
one.
height players.
Like Zay's not small. Zay is not a small
And
guard
Willie is
in
also
this
one
league.
of the best players too.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
Willie's
they have
like, what,
Willie.
6'5",
They have
6'6"?
I'm
Ant,
not gonna lie.
Liam, Tyrell.
Hold on. I forgot about the Willie trade. 100% forgot about that. I'll give you guys that. I forgot about Willie. I really forgot about Willie. I really did. But Zay's not 6'2". I love you, Zay, but you're not 6'2".
You're right. I think he's 6'3".
Zay is
I'm
not
bringing
that
up-
much.
You know what we're gonna do?
Zay is not
We're
that
gonna make
much
some
shorter than
contact.
me. Zay is not that much shorter than me.
I'm bringing a measuring tape. I'm bringing a measuring tape. We're gonna make contact. How tall are you on your profile versus how tall you really are? And we're about to
fair.
disprove a lot of this. I think that's what we should do.
Go ahead.
Listen, I'm gonna place another bet with you right now. Zay's taller than you. I'm gonna place that bet right now. Let's put some money on this again. We doubling up for what you owe me last time with Malik?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
still paid me.
I'm taller than Zay, bro.
Okay, double up.
Double up. All right, cool.
Regardless, that doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, what I was trying to say is the Vipers are not a small team. And I think it's weird to consider them a small team when the majority of their players, like I said, are within that 6'2" range and up. Like their key pieces that are going to be on the court for the majority of the game are all 6'2" and up, with the exception of Zoldo. Their shorter players are their role players. They're guys who aren't going to be on the court the majority or the bulk of the game, like the Geos. Now they added Toro to the equation, but like the rotation that's gonna stay on the court and win them the games, the majority of that game, it's Zuldo is the shortest one, and that's it. Everybody else is 6'1", 6'2", and above. So like I think the Vipers are not an undersized team at all, and for the fact that they're not, they're also very quick, which is another thing. And that might be the misconception. The fact that they're so quick may give the perception that they're smaller. But no, they're just quick and just as tall as the next team. You know what I mean? Like
They're pretty strong.
Yeah, pretty strong.
Like,
Yeah,
they
they have
have
a
it
pretty
all.
strong team as well. They have a overall, to me, I'd easily debate they're, if not the second, maybe the third biggest team in the league. I'd easily debate that when it comes to just size, easily. I don't think you can name me two teams that are bigger than the Vipers on average. I don't think you can.
Interestingly enough, I actually think the Lions are like at their average, because the Lions have a ton of wings that are kind of that same size.
Yeah, average. Yeah, the Lions are. I'd say that. I think the Lions might be shorter
They're
on
close,
average.
I would say though.
Yeah, I think they're
I think
close.
City Ballers up there too.
Yeah, I don't even know what we would consider City Ball's roster, but if we had to pick players, then yeah, they'd probably be up there on that list as well. I think by default, OTB maybe, just because Keith probably weighs that very highly because of the fact that he's like 7'6" or whatever the case may be. But they actually have a they have size at every position. I don't think they have anybody that's short at their position aside from Melo. But it's a men's league. Is he really short for his position?
So, like a 5'11" point guard is pretty tall still.
Yeah, in a men's league, like 5'11", 5'10" is about normal. If it was like a pro team, yeah, that's super short. But in a men's league, you're not getting that many point guards that are 6'1", 6'2". That's just not a common thing you'll see. But
that's why I think the Vipers are so good defensively, though, is because they have the size, they have the strength, and they have the speed. They really do have it all. But I think it's just not as noticeable because they don't have any of these freakishly tall players that you see on like OTB with like with Keith, and they don't have like a Rod who's like super fluid at 6'8". But like all together though, they are there. I think I assume Rod was 6'8".
no, Rod's definitely not 6'8".
I don't know how tall he is. I apologize.
I'd give him
He
like
feels
6'5". I'd probably give him 6'5", 6'4" is what I really want to say, but 6'5" is probably what they put him
How
on.
do you guys think I am?
Like 6'3".
Like 6'2", 6'3".
Okay.
It says Rod 6'8" on GM5. That's where I got it from.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's not true. Rod's not 6'8". Not a shot over doubt.
I know, yeah, I know that. That's nuts, though.
Like, I'm pretty decent when it comes to telling people's heights because I'm considered tall for, an average person. Not for, I guess, a basketball player, but for an average person, I'm 6'3". So, like, I could tell when a player like that's why I know Zay has to be at least 6'2", because when he's standing next to me, he's not somebody I have to look down when I'm talking to him. Like he is pretty close to my height, if not my same height, and I'm 6'3", maybe 6'2". You know what I mean? Who knows at this point in my life?
And
But
someone that's 6 foot, I know what he's like 2 to 3 inches taller than me.
okay,
Can I be
I
real
know.
with
all
you
right.
guys?
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna
what,
tell you guys a secret. It's not gonna be a secret no more though. When I went to the doctors, my girl might leave me. But I'm 6'1".
6 foot.
When I was trying to go to the military maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, they measured me. I was at 6'1". I may look like I'm 6'3". I may look like that, but I'm really 6'1". I'll tell people I'm 6'3" because I got the shoes on and shit like that. But my real height
Yeah.
is 6'1". So like if
That's what we're
I'm
talking about,
taller than
though. I don't
Zay,
know these dudes without shoes. I've
yeah,
never
I
seen them
guess
without
that's why
shoes.
I'm thinking about it because I know my true height is 6'1" without shoes, like 100%.
yeah, but it's the same as the NBA. That shit doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like we're not worried about what these guys are without their shoes on. They're basketball
Hooping
players.
barefoot.
They need to have their shoes
Zay
on.
pulled up on me with no shoes on, or with those shoes that have the toes on
So
them.
that's probably why
So
you
I'm
think he's
Yeah.
shorter than he
fine.
is.
That's
We're talking
probably
about
why.
we're talking about his basketball height. Who cares about what you are at home when you're in your flip flops, man?
No, but what I'm trying to get
We're
you to
not at
understand,
his
dog,
crib right
is
now.
when
I'm
he
not
pulled
measuring
up
him
on
at his
me.
crib.
I got my shocks on. He has these shoe toes things going on. He
You got
looked
high
way
heels
smaller than
on.
me.
You got high heels with someone wearing socks. Of course you're gonna be taller.
Listen, we done wasted so much time on this topic. Now I can't even be adamant about my take, but I'm gonna say it. And if we want to brush by it, we can. If we want to talk about it, we can, man. But my take about that third game, Vipers versus City Ballers, is why the hell are we talking so much shit when we're down by 67 points? Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing, City Ballers? Like, one thing that I just was not a fan of, and I know for a fact, I have not gotten any DMs. I might turn my page private so that way I can't get any more DMs. But I'm sure I'm gonna get some messages, man. I'm gonna just say it straight up, bro. Like, what are we talking about? The only reason I'm not taking off is because you guys are playing zone. What are we talking about? You guys know not to go man, or I'd be cooking y'all. What is that bullshit? What are we saying? What are we saying? What are we
I
doing
wanna
now?
win.
What are we doing?
Okay, I'll win.
Like, aren't we all supposed to be hoopers or hoop aficionados? You know what I mean? Or fans of the game or students of the game? We talking about, oh, if you guys were playing man, I'd be cooking y'all. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? What are we doing? You know what I mean?
Who are we citing?
Where is my good friend Kevin Rulock? I'll say it. Why the fuck not? My good friend Kevin Rulock. And listen, I've been an advocate for Kevin Rulock, and I've always talked about how good of a player he is and how much bigger role he deserves on City Ballers, and how much better they would do if they provided him the opportunity to have that role. So I'm never going to say anything negative in regards to his game because I've always thought he's a good player, a great player at that. Phenomenal player, whatever the case is. But I just was not a fan of all the jabbering back and forth about that shit. It's like, that doesn't make any sense to me. What are you doing? You're down by 50 and you're upset because they're playing zone? That's why you're down by 50 because they're playing zone. What do you guys couldn't figure it out. You guys couldn't figure it
A
out.
plus B equals C.
It's fine. You know, you never know. Maybe if they played man, things would have been differently. Well, things would have gone
Bad.
differently. Who knows? I don't know. But like, why?
Who cares?
Exactly. Who cares? What are we talking about? Like that. One thing I've never can get on board of, and that's with players that are on the opposite side or players that are on my side. It's like, why are we talking when we're down, bro? Like, why is that energy being wasted when we call a timeout and we're walking to the huddle? Why is that energy being wasted when the referee blows their whistle and we got to argue at the free throw line? Why is that energy not being exerted when you're playing defense? Why is that energy not being exerted when you have to attack the basket? You know what I mean? And use that anchor to your advantage to finish strong, to get your way, to do. If you can beat somebody in man, why can't you beat somebody in a zone? Who are you? What does that mean? So now the world knows that if we want to make sure City Ballers can't get close to this, we're going to play zone. Is that what you want the world to know? You know what I mean? You want to be in the same situation Prey was a few weeks ago, where the zone was their kryptonite? It's like, what are we doing? That was my take that I wanted to get off my chest. I can't support players talking the way that they're talking when they're down by 50. And in my
Yeah.
personal opinion, if I'm in charge, I'm not coaching the Serpents, for example, so I always try my best to separate myself from what's happening on the court and remain an innocent bystander as much as possible to ensure I don't present any bias out there. But in my head, I watch my Serpents complain, bitch to the refs, talk trash while we're down 20, down 30. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Put your head down and humble yourself because this team just smacked your ass. Get in the gym. The game's over. Get in the gym. Work on whatever you got to work on and come back and get your vengeance whenever you can. But, like, I can't get on board with it. I just can't get on board with it. Basketball's basketball. You do what you got to do to win. And they
Yeah.
believed that playing zone is what they needed to do to win. And you're
Yeah.
saying that was, what, a weak move? Or they were ducking smoke? No. If anybody was ducking smoke, it was the City Ballers. Because y'all couldn't
Yeah.
do nothing. Y'all couldn't punch back. Y'all were punching bags out there. You're getting slapped in the face over and over again and did nothing about it. So, like, why are we talking? That's my take of the day. If y'all want to
Yeah.
add
That's
to it,
for the
you
regular.
can.
That shit's for early in the season. Like those
Yeah.
those one-on-one matchups, those showing who you are. That's for early. That's
Yeah.
that's like before you got your footing.
Yeah.
Vipers got their footing now. They just need to get the wins to ensure that they stay, somewhere in that top 3 seed. Nothing else matters for them anymore. They've
Yeah.
shown us who they are. They're arguably the best defensive team in the league. Like maybe it's a little bit closer. Like maybe they win by 20 if they go man. But there's no way you can convince me that them going, a 2-3 zone around halftime, because they were not doing that immediately out the gate. Around halftime was what led them to winning.
Yeah.
Like by that much. You can't convince me of that. That team is too strong defensively, and we talk about it all the time.
Last thing I'll say,
I
and
don't
I don't really
know.
agree. I don't really ever agree with these guys. I am the wrench in here. I'm the one who, I'm gonna go opposite. If everybody got the Clippers, I got the Hornets. That's always been my thing. But I gotta agree with these guys, and like they've even taught me a lot about life and about myself. So like, excuses mean nothing without production. And if you are mad because a team designed something to beat you guys, and then you guys aren't trying to design something to beat them, is it their fault or is it your fault? And I think that's what Nas wants people to do. He wants them to self reflect, like what could I have done better, not what they did better, because they were just better overall. You got beat by 40. I wasn't there. I didn't get to hear the complaining. I didn't get to hear it on the camera, but I see body language, and I love Kev. I love Kevin. I think he's awesome. He's very interactive with us. He talks to us a lot, specifically Tyler more than me, even though I'm in that same group chat. But he talks to us a lot, and I can't defend an excuse. And the excuse of I'm sick or I'm that or that. I mean, you put them basketball shoes on, you laced up, you got on that floor, and the outcome was the outcome. But I don't want to hear it. I mean, I don't hear it from, and I hate to say, I don't hear it from the Lions. I don't hear it from those teams that are losing every week. I don't hear it from them. There's no excuse. They're just not good enough. That's what they say. So I mean, I don't want to hear that. And then you're going against a top team that you were. Let me digress. I'm done. But yeah,
Kevin,
you promised something to me and Tyler that we never got. That's all I'm gonna say.
Kevin Rulock's a great player, though. I want to make sure
He is
I
very
emphasize
great.
that. I think Kevin Rulock's a phenomenal player, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to talk trash about him and his game. I just wasn't a fan
Yeah.
of the trash talking. But before we move on to the last game, the last thing I want to make sure we emphasize is the reason why I don't believe is the trash talking was necessary is because of 3 simple numbers: 8.6, 6.1, and 4.4. Go ahead and do your research and find out what those numbers mean. Because in my opinion, those are not the numbers of a person that's supposed to be saying what he's saying. That's just my take there. But let's move on to the last game, which is unfortunately going to result in another crazy take here. Because I also have some opinions on this last game. I'm trying to pull it up here. But we got Park Legends versus New West Orlando. NWO moves up to 10-0. Finally, they thought they were 10-0 last week, or I think it was 2 weeks ago. I forget which week it was. But they finally reached that 10-0 by taking down Park Legends 91-80. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to pull it up before I say anything wrong. Park Legends is currently on a 5-game losing streak. Am I correct? I think that's what it is. 5-game
Yep.
losing streak, ladies and gentlemen. Park Legends went from a mid-tier team that we believed, was just a couple moves, if not just a couple players locking in early enough away from being a top team that could compete against Vipers, compete against potentially OTB, to now, I don't even know with the trend they're heading on if I could take Park Legends in a first round matchup this year. I don't even know if I could. But what do you guys think about that game?
After next week, let me double check who City Ballers are playing. Actually, City Ballers going against Count Up, which is a possibility. City Ballers might have a better record than them, and they started off really slow. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And Park Legends started really hot, but that game, man, that game was a beating from the start. There was various 20-point leads throughout that game. So it ending 80-91. I promise you, it doesn't tell the full story. Fourth quarter starts and it's around 57-77. It's close to that. I don't know exactly where it started, but it's around 57-77. NWO's up, and you can't convince me that they didn't take their foot off the gas. NWO, like you see Rod taking one dribble shots from half court. You see Tommy and Bulb going for these behind the back steals on almost every single play coming down the court. Like that game was close because NWO kind of allowed it to be close. I think. They were in full control. That was a defensive masterclass. That was probably the best defense I've ever seen be played on Dom. Some of the least free throws that we've seen from him, they were very disciplined on their defense. They understood that his ability to just stop and pop is so elite. He's able to decelerate so quickly from a full sprint. But between CJ, between Bulb, between Rob, between everybody that they kind of threw at him, he wasn't as efficient there. It was tough, and their big men for Park Legends couldn't really get it going. It was really only Sean, realistically. Darius Hall I wouldn't really consider him big. He's more of a wing. But Sean was not able to get as many rebounds as he typically would. They were kind of crashing the glass on him, and they were running in transition. And that team is just a little too slow to deal with NWO. Like their two wings, AJ and Rod are just fucking elite at everything. Yeah. AJ's become like an elite shooter this season.
Yeah.
And Rod is like this defensive monster. They've like traded powers.
Yeah.
But yeah, NWO is 10-0. It's real. It's real deal.
Yep.
It's
Park Legends was 4-1 6 weeks ago. They are currently 4-6, bro. Could you imagine? I couldn't. It's crazy, bro. Were you gonna say something?
Shout out to Nick.
The only thing I was saying,
I'm joking. I don't want to stir that pot. I'm joking.
The only thing I would say on this is like, NWO does what NWO will do for the rest of the season, and what they've hung their hat on is defense. Watching that game and what I did watch, it was defense, and knowing Dom and how good of a scorer Dom is. Dom isn't like no regular guy in this league. He is a top tier scorer. He's a guy who can get to the hole, get to the rim, and this is an overall look. I don't think Dom focused to get to the free throw line as he did last year with Game Time. That's one thing I did notice. Dom was at that free throw line a lot last year. This year, it's not the same style of play, I would think, from Dom. I don't think he's as physical as he was last year. And I don't know if that has to do with personnel. I don't know if that has to do with that. That's something I noticed. Dom was definitely getting a lot of baited calls. He's not getting those this year. Another thing about NWO is when they're fully rostered and they're fully ready to go, me and Malik were talking on Sunday when we were hooping. Moy, he was telling me, he's like, bro, they're scary. You have someone like AJ who has so much body control for his size and the way he plays. Typically, people like him are not the most coordinated people. They're not the most, and I'm talking about at this level, not the NBA. Those guys got professionals who push them around, who get them better. But AJ low key moves like a guard, and coast to coast just dunks it easily. Malik doesn't give a lot of people props. He was giving him props, and he made me think about it in the season AJ's having, and I just like AJ's just uber efficient this year. He's just uber efficient. If anything he did this year different from last year is just being the piece for this team and being like more of like last year. I felt like he had to do that. This year, I think he knows he has the team to help him around. So he's been in cruise control all year. I'm telling you, when it's time for him to do his thing this year, he's gonna have a big game in the playoffs. He's gonna one of those games are gonna be a really big game when they need him, because they pretty much Goku him. They put him in a little capsule thing, and he's just chilling, bro. They haven't needed to count on AJ on a lot of these games, man. Other than the Viper game where he played very well and stepped up to the plate and was arguably the best player in that game. I just don't see anybody being NWA when their beast is just able to sleep throughout the whole season. He's on the bench playing with his kids half the time. It's insane, and I want to shout them out, man. 10-0, championship loading. I'm gonna get my shirt. One of these guys got it.
Oh yeah,
Championship loading.
I have it in my car. I got you.
That I gotta wear it this Saturday. I told Berg I would. I take some pictures with Tommy too. I guess Tommy wants to take pictures with me. But yeah.
Look at you two, man, taking photos together. Oh man! Shout out
Yeah,
NWA.
Shout out
Ice Cube.
NWO.
That's what you said. You said NWA.
I said that's the beginning of the season.
No, you just said it 2 seconds ago.
Yeah,
I did?
Yes.
Man, NWO, Northwest Orlando. Shout out them boys,
It's
man.
not Northwest.
Crazy.
It's
AJ
not North.
yourself?
Wait, it's not Northwest Orlando.
Yeah,
It is-
all
New
New
West Orlando. New West
West
Orlando. My bad.
This man tried to correct himself and made it worse.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
You giving him a
New
jersey? Come
West
on.
Orlando.
This
I'm
is who
sorry. I
you're
live
giving
on
a
the west
jersey
side.
to. That's crazy, Burger.
West
That's
side
crazy.
is the best side.
No, but what I was gonna say is, AJ, while like he's probably the most efficient player in the league, I'm sure if I checked, I wouldn't
Yeah,
doubt
this
it.
year.
He's also fourth in scoring because I'm gonna take Trent out. He's only played one game. He's fourth.
Yeah.
He's right behind Dom. He's right behind Dom, Luke, and Kel. And I absolutely believe that he has been like disgustingly efficient for that team.
Yeah, he has.
Every game now, you know, he's getting at least 5 to 6 points in transition guaranteed. You know,
Crazy.
2 of them off of field goals, and he's getting a free throw almost every single time down. Like he's scary. He's a player that like is so hard to really game plan around, I think, because of everything that he excels with, his ability to secure the rebounds, his ability to defend, his ability to finish. And now you've kind of added that shooting on as well. And then, you know, his like accessory pieces, like you paired him up with Rod again, who, don't get me wrong, the last couple of games Rod is shooting a little worse than he typically is, but it's still Rod. Like it's not like you can just ignore him. You
can't.
have to, you know, at times you have to put 2 on him still. And then you also have Tommy and Bulb, who can, you know, play defense as well as anybody can. And Tommy just has a fucking strap on him. Like that,
Yeah.
I don't know. NWO could win it. I would not be surprised if they do win it. I
crazy.
would not be surprised.
I mean, NWO
would-
plays Lions and City Ballers. So, I mean, I'm going to say here right now,
Oh, no.
undefeated
2-0.
champs loading. Undefeated champs
Yeah.
loading. I mean, that's unfortunately that's an easy schedule to finish the season 12-0. It is.
Yeah.
And we'll see what NWO can do, man. I'm gonna look into it. I don't know if a team has ever done it, but they could be legitimately the undefeated champs. They legitimately could.
That would be fire.
It's gonna be
That would be
hard to
fire.
beat the Vipers again, and it's gonna be hard to beat OTB again. Don't get me wrong. I'm fully aware of that, but I mean, shit. We'll see what happens, man.
Before we go,
Their first round matchup is,
not-
is against the Lions most likely.
We're not even close
Yeah.
to done.
Oh,
That's
my
a
bad, my
win
bad.
Right there for them against the Lions in the first round. That's like a bye week almost.
Oh God. Damn.
I just want to say, bro, AJ shooting 38% from the fucking 3. He's shooting 66% from the field. He's shooting 70% from 2-point shots. He's averaging 1.7 blocks, 3.7 assists, and 8.2 rebounds. That's our league MVP, and he's third in
That's
scoring.
Giannis. That's fucking Giannis.
Didn't he just win
That's
MVP
hard.
last year?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah, he's
And
crazy.
the thing is, he's shooting 30. We ask players to get better, right? He's shooting 38% from the 3. He is a top 3-point shooter in this league. At least when it comes to efficiency. Not.
Well,
shot
hold
making.
on. Not the top 3-point. There's some ridiculous.
No. I'm
three-point
not
shooting.
saying top. Like, I'm saying the back end of like a top 15 3-point shooter efficiently in this league. My bad. Sorry. Out of the hundreds of players they have, 100 players they have in this league, he's at least
You're
top
gonna
15.
it's gonna make it seem like I'm saying that AJ's bad, but I don't think he's a top 15 shooter still.
He's not.
He's efficient as fuck. He's shooting 38% from the three, bro.
Yeah, but down to number 20, we have people still shooting in the 40s.
I didn't know that. I'm pulling up stats right now. My bad.
Rod on his team is shooting 47%, and he's 18.
Yeah, and that's fine because AJ, he's not a shooter. That's not his game. That's fine. Who cares? At the end of the
That's
day,
really what
yeah,
it is. Yeah.
he's gonna take shots. You know what I mean? Whenever they come to him, and he's gonna, take the right shots at the right time. But that doesn't matter. AJ's game isn't to go out there and chuck up threes, so it don't really mean much there. But I would have to agree.
Having it is nice.
Yeah, AJ's not, a top 10, top 15 shooter in the league, but I'm sure he's aware of that. He's not out there worried about shooting threes in the first place. But yeah, undefeated
He'd
champs.
rather be finishing inside every time.
Yeah, undefeated
Yeah.
champs loading. We got some games for next week. We're going to give our predictions, and then maybe we'll give our... I mean, I think we all agreed already on who our player of the week conversation was going to be. So maybe we potentially save that for next week when the running is a little bit more interesting. But next week, however, or this week, in a couple days, actually, a few days, we have Prey with a bye week. They won't be in action this Saturday. First game is going to be City Ballers versus Count Up. City Ballers is going to try their best to get back on the winning column. What do you guys think? Can they do it or not?
I'm going Count Up.
Going Count Up.
Same. Unanimous decision there. I do believe City Ballers has the ability to win the game, though. I don't think this is a game where they're guaranteed to lose. I think Count Up has had better games recently, but Count Up has a history. They're not the most consistent of teams. So if City Ballers can show up and lock in, I think they really need to get together and figure something out as a team, because I've said it before. They have the talent, they have the ability. It is disappointing that they can't win more games. To me, it is disappointing. But I got Count Up at the end of the day. Game 2 is Vipers versus OTB, the Vengeance game right there, the rematch from week whatever it was.
In the week too.
OTB took that home the first time. I do believe Vipers has the ability to take it home this time. I said it at the beginning of the season, and at this point, I think this is the only game left that can help my parlay succeed. I said it. Vipers are going to take down one of the top teams in the league at some point in the season. And I think this is the last opportunity they have to do so, because they don't play NWO and everybody else will be below them. So it wouldn't really fit the criteria, unfortunately. OTB is the last opportunity we have. So I got Vipers. Vipers are going to take down OTB. They're going to make my parlay come true. They're going to take down one of the top teams at some point, and it's going to be at this point. I got the Vipers.
Yeah.
I love the Vipers, bro. I love what the Vipers got going on. That's my favorite team. I'm going Vipers.
I think coming off of a bye week, I still don't know the records of teams, but I know it's probably not the best. You're going against a team that's red hot. Everything's hitting right now. I'm going Vipers. I mean, OTB's also red hot as well, but the Vipes look good, bro. And every time I've got to sit down and watch them, they've impressed me. I mean, there's not a lot that I haven't. Those are probably the most exciting games I've worked this year, are the Viper games. I'll say that.
As soon as we post this podcast, I'm going to make sure I block Mello from Instagram, YouTube, and from my messages, my phone as well. So I will not be hearing from Mello until Saturday.
Get it done. Vipers,
listen,
get it done. We're going to hear
Melo's going to win here because he hasn't been winning in fantasy, though. So I could see that happening.
Damn.
Man.
Damn. That's crazy. That's one hell of a shot.
Op. We got to bet that's an op right now.
Park Legends versus Dream Chasers for Game 3, though. Listen, this is going to be something. This is going to be something. Obviously, we know Dream Chasers doesn't do much winning. However, if you were to ask somebody who just started watching GM5, say, the last 6 weeks or so, they would also say Park Legends doesn't do much winning either. So I don't actually think this is as easy of a choice as it looks like on paper.
I think it's hard.
Because Park Legends has continuously shown us that they just need, apparently, to gel. Apparently, they need more time. And Dream Chasers has a history of keeping games close, or at least competing. Not every game, but they compete. They play hard, and they make you feel like, okay, We can't just let this team do what they want because they might just beat us. With the history of Park Legends, I'm going to take Park Legends because I'm a money-making man and the parlay says that they're the right choice. But you can't convince me Dream Chasers can't win this game. You can't. I think they can.
Let's bet lunch. Let's bet lunch, Nas. I got Dream Chasers.
Oh, man.
Let's put the money on it. Because looking at the differentials over the last 4 weeks, outside of that OTB game for Dream Chasers, it is actually looking a little better for Dream Chasers.
I'm going Dream Chasers as well. The ladders like this. It's like something like that or something. So yeah, I'm going Dream Chasers.
It depends because Kel does have a game
Kel's
later
gonna
next
play?
night.
Is Kel's gonna play?
He has been.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go Kel's. I mean, I'm got Dream Chasers, 100%.
But that's a type of game where I see Kel, 29 free throws at minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
He shot, I think, 18
crazy.
last week, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
I'm telling you, 29.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Park Legends. I think that they're the favorite, and I'm gonna take them because I'm a smart betting man. But if this becomes Dream Chasers' first win next week's podcast, I'm gonna talk so much shit. Oh my god,
We have to.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we have to.
Listen,
I'll be there this week, so I'll see it.
Listen, I fuck with TP, bro, but listen, you better block me. If you lose this week, you better block me because I never talk to you about any of your games. I'm going to talk to you about this one. You've been telling me to ask questions before we pod. I'm going to ask you a whole lot of questions before we pod.
Why did you guys lose if you lose? Just why?
Oh, but that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Game 4 in the last game of Week 12. Lions Perception versus NWO. I got NWO. They're going to be 11-0. And I'm going to tell you right now, I can predict a 50-point loss here. I can predict that 100%.
I don't predict it. I'm not going to say it's a 50-point
40,
loss. That's
40.
That's
I'll say 40. I'll say 40. It's a 40-point loss.
I'm going to guess that they win, and it's by 13.
Mercy rule, for sure.
Fuck no. You out of your mind. 13?
NWO does have a habit of just, like, once they get up enough to where they secure the win, they start just having fun.
Do you remember what the largest deficit of this season was?
It was that game. It was them, too.
It was these two teams.
Yeah, but they don't have to do that again. They've already proven their point to them. Berga is a very empathetic man.
No, he's not. He's not. He wanted to win.
Your head on the curve.
He wanted to win by 100. He kept saying that on the sideline.
Yeah,
but he's already secured the highest point victory of the season. He doesn't have to do that anymore.
He wants to prove
and you
that.
See AJ, he's a family man. Rod is a family man. They don't have to do that. They don't want to do that.
Just because you said that and they're hearing this, I'm predicting a 60-point loss. I think they're going to take what you just said.
You think NWO is going to lose by 60? That's crazy.
That's not what I said.
That's
Shut
a crazy
up.
take,
Shut up. 60-point win by NWO, 11-0. And listen, God forbid who they're going to play the last week because they're going to put their foot on the gas and not let up, man. I got NWO. I hope we all do.
Who they played the last week is City Ballers, and they play City Ballers pretty strong. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
They play them differently. There's like a rivalry. Not really, but they play them like it is.
Hey, listen, let us know in the comment section who you got winning in Week 12. GM5 is winding up. I think there's 2 more weeks of action left because I think there's going to be an additional week of additional games to make up for the records or for the scheduling, I believe, because some teams have to bye weeks and all that stuff. So I know there's a week where, if I'm not mistaken, there's only like 2 or 3 games. I'll double check just to make sure. But
it's the week after. It's Prey versus Dream Chasers and OTB versus City Ballers.
Yeah, 29th, right? Yeah. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be a short week for us, luckily. But let us know in the comment section who you got winning in Week 12. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share, all that good stuff, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in every single week. Y'all been showing so much love. I want to let y'all know that the support that you guys have been showing, as well as the Royals, and everybody who watches, because honestly, I can't even keep track of who is watching. We might have people that we don't even know, we've never even met, that are watching us, man. And we're very close to reaching our first step of monetization here on YouTube, all because of the support that you guys have shown us. We're about to hit our 3K hours watched for the first time, which is going to allow us some opportunities to really heighten the experience here on YouTube. So we appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. When you see this, man, go watch some more videos. Go watch one extra video.
Yeah.
After you finish the pod, go watch one extra video. Even if it's just one
Yeah.
game, even if it's just another podcast, whatever. Watch one more video, man. Make our hours go up like crazy when I wake up on Wednesday, man. So watch the podcast on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Wednesday, I want to wake up to goddamn 50 to 100 new hours, man. If y'all do that for us, man, we are going to love you so much, man. If we hit 3K, man, we're gonna do some sort of giveaway. We have to. We have no choice. If we hit 3K,
Well, that was our whole idea. Once we get that, we could do a lot more giveaways because that's money coming in specifically for that.
exactly.
So we're gonna pay that back.
So don't
And-
forget,
and
man.
I think
Go ahead.
real quick, these two guys, when it comes to like what they want is mostly like fan involvement. I obviously I'm a part of these guys, so yeah, me as well. But one thing that we've triggered a lot this season is fan engagement, and you guys blew it out the water for us. You guys killed it, and it's a lot of fan love right here, and we're definitely going to give back to the people who watch. That's one thing that we've always said since the beginning when we started this is being able to do giveaways, being able to keep you guys involved. And thank you for keeping us every Monday and Sunday, whenever Nas drops the videos, you just tuning in and commenting and being involved, because I want to trickle that in there as well. We wouldn't be here these last 3 years without the people who were consistent with us, gave us opportunities to like shape ourselves into what we are now, which is local basketball. And it took us a while to figure it out, but that's the whole point of this jersey. Is just journey is to know where we're going, and we know what our niche is, and it's all because of you guys. Just want to throw that out
Shout
there.
out Nas for realistically making this all
For
happen.
real. For real.
He's
Brought
the
me and
muscle.
Tyler together. He brought all of us together. It started in the D3 studio, and it's kind of like a reflection. Like, I had hair when I met these guys. I'm
That's
bald
a
now.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
crazy.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
That's crazy. Yeah. Shout out Nas for real, man. But don't forget, y'all, man, when you finish this podcast, watch one more video. Just do it for us. Just do us that favor. It could be anything. It could find yourself a 30-minute video. Find yourself a 15. We have videos of all types of ranges, man. When you finish the podcast, watch one more video. Do it for us. Hit that subscribe button. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff, man. We're done. Hooptalk the podcast out. Deuces.
All right, y'all boys.
6'7", 6'7".
6'7".